You are not behind. You've been hearing all of this about AI and all the incredible things it's doing and all of the maybe scary things it's doing. And you're thinking, I need to learn this and I need to learn it fast. But there's so much to learn. Yeah, okay, I get prompt crafting, but then there's like the engineering part, and sometimes I hear it called prompt crafting or prompt chaining, and then I have to figure out the tools to use this information in, because ChatGPT is no longer just the thing I can use. There's now Google Gemini, and there's and then local language models. I mean, like just doing it locally on my computer. Oh, what? I I can't even. And I need to learn how to do this AI automation and agents. I can't learn all of that. I'll never be able to keep up with this. I'm going to fall behind. Someone will come along who can know this somehow magically and take my job if AI doesn't even do that first. I can't keep up with all of this. And to that, I say to you, I understand feeling overwhelmed. I have felt overwhelmed and I love AI. I'm in the AI space. I educate in this space. And there are days where I'm just like, I cannot take another news piece about some new thing. There are many AI tools I haven't even tried. I'm staying in the pocket that is my passion, and that's large language models and how I can use them to automate the pain from my life and then share those solutions with you to help you automate the pain from your life. So how am I dealing with this? Why don't I believe that we're all behind those who can't keep up? Well, that's because you have a superpower. Seriously. You might be thinking I'm saying like, just as some YouTube thing to get a click on this video, using some super over exaggerated word. No, seriously. You have a superpower. Let me show you by showing you this video by Yuval Noah Harari, who gave a talk at Google some time ago, and he said this to the following question.
I want to start with maybe some of the themes in both your current book with 21 lessons as well as Homo Deus, because I'm the father of two young kids. I have two daughters, a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and the future that you paint in Homo Deus is interesting. So I'd like to ask you, what should I be teaching my daughters?
That nobody knows how the world would look like in 2050, except that it will be very different from today. So the most important things to emphasize in education are things like emotional intelligence and mental stability, because the one thing that they will need for sure is the ability to reinvent themselves repeatedly throughout their lives.
Here's your superpower. You, like many humans, in fact, what the human race is known for, what we see in each other, is the ability to adapt. But here's the thing. What does it take to be able to adapt effectively? Because you can adapt by saying, oh, well, I throw up my hands, whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen. Or you can lay down on the ground and say, I adapt by completely giving up to whatever's going to happen and just let it happen. Or there are those of us who adapt by using the other aspect that human beings have intrinsically that we have been exercising since we lived in caves. And that is the ability to be creative. What makes a person good, in my opinion, at prompting, prompt crafting, prompt chaining, building out automations? What has made me good at these things is the ability to creatively problem solve and the willingness to ask for help by using the AI as my help center, my on-demand help center. I am not a developer. I can't write code. I can barely read code. Yet I have done things like this. I have sat down and taught myself using ChatGPT to help me. I have taught myself how APIs work. I have taught myself what a JavaScript expression is. To some degree, there's lots to learn. Enough to solve the immediate problem in front of me. And here's the key point. We are all on a path, on a trajectory. All of humanity is, whether you like it or not, we are on a path. We've always been on one. It's called moving through time. It's called being alive. And that path can be walked with creativity and joy, or it can be walked with trepidation and fear. And I understand that there is much to be afraid of, but there is much that you can use to solve that current problem in front of you, one step at a time. That's all I do when I automate. I simply have a problem. In this case, the automation I'm working on right now is how to continue to create content with less effort and more ease. And I'm automating that process. This is one of the first steps, this automation here, of that process. I build out a little bit at a time. Thinking huge is wonderful for creativity, but it's not really excellent for getting yourself to the next step. And that's it. Every day I sit down in front of my computer and I say, what's the next right thing? That is your superpower. One, I will repeat, the ability to adapt. But what causes you to be able to adapt? Well, the ability to be creative about that adaptation. Not just give up, not just go to hopelessness, but to actually adapt in creative and unique ways. And then the next ability is your ability to take the next right step. And by right, I mean, what is the one thing that you can learn or do that would take you one step closer to understanding how AI can be effective for you? All of us have been given a tool, access to a tool, to technology that can help us for the first time with our own personal problems without having to ask for a coach, a book, or help of any other. You can go and to ChatGPT or any other large language model and ask it to help you in the way that only you understand. So when I asked ChatGPT to help me learn APIs, I asked it to help me using an analogy. In this one, it was shopping. I am currently learning something with AI right now, and the analogy that I am using is asking it to teach me using cooking, because I love to cook. If you are good at mountain bike riding or playing a guitar or singing or anything else that you love and know your thing, that thing that makes you want to get up in the morning, you can turn that into a way for AI to teach you anything in the way that you understand. Personalized learning. Because personalized learning, which is all I did. Some months ago, I wanted to know how these GPTs really worked. I knew that they had GPT actions. I knew that actions were APIs. I just read the help file to figure that out. And then I went to ChatGPT and I said, teach me what an API is. Speak in simple language for a beginner and use an analogy. It first used a restaurant analogy, and that wasn't clicking with my brain. Does that mean I'm stupid? I don't think so. So I said, give me something that works with my individualized brain. And it came up with shopping. I spent 2 nights talking back and forth, asking questions. Anytime I reached a blank spot in my mind where I went, I don't understand that, I would just ask, how does that? And what is that? And oh, you do this, until my brain began to do what it does so well, what all of our brains do so well, make connections. And then from there, 2 days later, I had enough knowledge about application programming interfaces, API, in order to do this video, which taught you how to do APIs as well too. And I promised you in that video that at the end of this video, you will be able to create a GPT that connects to the outside world. And it's a lot simpler than you think. And that is why you can, no matter what you might be feeling, can succeed using AI. And to this, one more point. In that story, I learned alone with ChatGPT. But you know what? Actually, I didn't. I was learning, even though it is absolutely not human in the slightest, it is a large language model. I was learning with someone, communicating back and forth. How did we learn as children? We didn't whip open a book and magically figure it out. We looked at the world, we talked with and interacted with the world, and most importantly, we interacted with each other. With each other. Either sitting at the coloring table, you and your two friends over for play date, coloring in on your coloring paper and jabbering back and forth in your baby talk, you were learning. This is how humans, many of us, and I know it's how I learn. So the way to supercharge your learning so you no longer feel behind, which you aren't, but if you're feeling that way, the way to move your learning forward is to use ChatGPT and then supercharge that by using ChatGPT or whatever it is you're trying to learn. For example, create an AI automation in N8N, have ChatGPT open, and then also learn with a friend or friends. Just live streaming your screen in a Zoom call, a Microsoft Teams call. There's all kinds of apps that do that now. Discord is my favorite. It's free and has calls that with no limit on them. And just get in there with some friends and just start playing around. Hey, let's try and automate something that will create a shopping list for us every week. Okay, well, let's just try and figure it out. And then having ChatGPT open to ask questions when you get stuck, learn together. Or you can join a community of learners. I have one that is called the AI Automators Prompt Crafting Society. We meet in a guild hall, and every week we build together. This, if you're thinking, I could never do that, I want to show you that this that you're looking at was just my third automation. And I had no school training on it. I did not take a workshop. I did not take a certification. I just opened up ChatGPT and said, I want to learn how to automate this thing. And then I gave it the documentation and we went off to the races. And you can do the same. You're not behind. It's okay. Adapt, learn, and grow, preferably together. I've been showing you some N8N automations throughout this short little talk that really came from the heart, and I hope you felt that. If you want to know why I've chosen this tool, N8N, to automate in 2025, that video is on screen right now.